Welcome to the Ye Music Store application, Step 1, Preparation Station. What you'll need is a MySQL 5.1 or newer installed on your local host, and you'll need the Ye framework, which you can download from yeframework.com. And you want to install that if you haven't already got it installed. You'll want to install that in a web accessible directory. I'm using XAMPP. On my Windows machine, I have Apache and MySQL running. MySQL is a 5.1 application, and Apache is Apache 2. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to create our Ye application, and then we're going to set up our database, and then modify config main. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to run the Ye application YIIC from our installed web accessible framework. We're going to run web app, and we're going to have that go into our htdocs under XAMPP, and we're going to make that the Ye Music Store. I want to change up the folder for that because it is case sensitive. And we're going to have it run and install into our system. So of course I'll answer yes, I want it to create a web application for me. So I use Eclipse. As you can see, I have a database SQL script that we're going to run here in a minute. But what I want to do is I want to refresh that so that you can see that we do have our Ye Music Store. We have our Ye protected, so all this has been auto-generated for us, which is really, really great. So now I want to move this into my data directory. I'll move on up in there. Won't move up in there. Well, anyway, I'm going to run this. So it comes up in my notepad. I want to copy everything, and we're going to want to go to our local host and go to our phpMyAdmin. It's really nice. We're going to set up a new, since I already had it set up, I'm going to drop the whole thing so that we can do this from the start. Won't take but a minute. And so we're going to open up a Ye Music Store, or create a new music store. Database. And so our database is created, and we're going to run that SQL. So we paste our SQL in there. Okay. And run that. And we will have our 6 tables created for us. And in each of these tables, we have order, detail, order, and the cart will be empty because, of course, we have not sold anything yet. But our album and artists and genres do have things in them. So we have 11 different genres. We have a whole bunch of artists, and we have a whole bunch of albums with our artist ID, genre ID, and the album ID. Okay, so we're through with that. So now what we have to do is we need to come over here to our Ye config under the protected, and we're going to modify our application. The first thing we want to do is call this the Ye Music Store. Web application. Then we're going to uncomment our Ye tool, because we'll be using that, of course, to create models and controllers and some CRUD code. We'll talk about that a little later as we get there. Be sure that you change your password right here for your Ye tool. You want to make sure you change that. Okay. Now we're going to uncomment so we have user-friendly and SEO-friendly URLs. We'll show you how that works. If you haven't already tried that yet, you'll want to try that. We're going to comment out this little section right here because we are not using the SQLite. We're using the MySQL database. So we'll want to change that to Ye database, Ye Music Store, excuse me. That's our database that we're going to use. You will want to change your username and your password for your installation of MySQL. Okay. Then we want to do our log router so that we get some extra debugging information on our web page. It's very helpful. You can see things that are going on, what's being loaded, how long it takes. Very, very fast. And this will come up on our web page. So that concludes setting up our main. So let's save that, and we can close that. Okay, and then we go back here. Since we're through with that, we're going to point our application to our we're going to point our web browser to our application. Okay. And here's our Ye Music Store application. Well, that was fun, and we'll have and that concludes our steps. So let's review what we did. We have a MySQL installation. We have the Ye framework installed on our local host. We created our new Ye application using the YIC or YIIC, and we set up our database, pasting our SQL statement in there so that it would create our tables and populate them for us. And we modified config main so that we change our passwords and we can continue with our tutorial. Well, that concludes it. I hope you're having fun. We'll have several more steps on its way.